Welcome to the best crowdfunding sites to raise money for anything. First on the list, Kickstarter. It's hard to have a conversation about crowdfunding without diverging to talk about Kickstarter, so let's do that now. Kickstarter is the giant of the crowdfunding world, as I'm sure you could have concluded from the opening paragraph. Here are some definite reasons that Kickstarter holds this title, and one of them is their format. Projects that apply for Kickstarter have to go through a review process that determines if they are legitimate and whether or not they fit on the Kickstarter platform. Since Kickstarter prefers to feature the funding of specific products, your general business campaign is probably going to get screened. One of the reasons that Kickstarter is so staunch about this model comes in the way that they give incentive. Next on the list, Indiegogo. Right after you hear about Kickstarter, the next biggest site you'll hear about is usually Indiegogo. As the name implies, Indiegogo is a site for launching independent artists, developers, and businesses. They're actually a year older than Kickstarter, and a definitely contributor to the crowdfunding landscape we see today. The overall user experience with this site is positive, and people who find objection with Kickstarter will often take their business here instead. Indiegogo has a generally more relaxed criteria for the projects they will accept compared to Kickstarter. If you have more loose needs than Kickstarter's staunch beginning, middle, end model, this is the right one to use. Now, although I have added Indiegogo under the entrepreneurs and startups section, you can actually raise money for any cause. Next on the list, Rocket Hub. Taking up the final spot in the big three of the crowdfunding world is Rocket Hub. Rocket Hub is something like a cross between Indiegogo and Kickstarter, with a smaller focus while still having emphasis on rewards-based systems. Unlike Kickstarter, this platform allows you to keep whatever donations were given, in the event that you fail to meet your goal. In a lot of ways, you could say that Rocket Hub is just the small version of the bigger platforms. However, they do have a unique point in their favor due to being associated with A&E networks. You might want to put your project up through Rocket Hub if you think it has a good chance of being picked up for additional promotion. A&E is looking to help kickstart new businesses, especially entrepreneurs. Next on the list, Seed and Spark. The second of the two industry-specific sites, this one is all about funding films. It's probably a lot easier to imagine the sorts of costs you rack up with a film than it was with the books. Well, SNS allows you to help get these experiences off the ground with an easy and intuitive interface. It isn't just for filmmakers, of course. One of the big pitches of the website is that they allow you to fund the movies that you want to watch. It's very simple to access and view movies that have been previously funded, so you can get a feel for the quality of work that can come out of this platform. Next on the list, Campus Slice, now acquired by AngelList. This is a tuition funding site that has a really interesting premise: keep the money out of the hands of the fundee. Yes, Campus Slice's goal is to make sure that the student in question never comes into possession of the money, because the money is spent and deposited directly to the school. The point of this is to make the crowdfunding process more trustworthy, in its way, by ensuring that the money goes where it needs. After all, many college students would be tempted to dip into the funds if they found themselves in possession of $10K. Next on the list, GiveForward. While somewhat comparable to YouCaring, this is a service which is dedicated solely to raising money for medical expenses. Exorbitant medical costs are a serious problem facing many people, particularly those in the US, and GiveForward is a platform for combating that. Unfortunately, there are restrictions based on donations from outside the US, so it's somewhat regionally focused. However, if you have empathy for those who struggle with impossible medical costs, or you are one of those people yourself, this is a good platform for your needs. Next on the list, GoFundMe. GoFundMe is quickly becoming a favorite amongst people. You can ask for money here for almost anything: college, mortgage payment, car payment, startup, moving, and whatever else life throws at you. Next on the list, Fundly, another platform where one can raise money for almost anything. The site claims it has so far raised over $300 million on crowdfunding for all kinds of projects. Next on the list, Plum Fund. After starting their honeymoon registry Honeyfund in 2006, Sarah and Josh Margulis decided to take crowdfunding to the next level and created Plum Fund. This fundraising website was specifically designed to help fund anniversaries, special products, down payments for homes and more. If you take the time to examine other crowdfunding websites, you'll see that they charge high fees. The creators of Plum Fund feel this is a travesty and created their crowdfunding websites to change the landscape entirely. Next on the list, Scholar Match. As the name suggests, this is a site where donors can give scholarships to students. The organization works with college access organizations and schools, and students are actually nominated by those partners. Unfortunately, this is restricted to the Bay Area. Next on the list, Fundable. Often compared to Crowdfunder, Fundable is the other equity-based crowdfunding platform. It's something of a hybrid site between Crowdfunder and a reward-based platform, and it allows you to offer back to the funder in a variety of ways. That's perhaps the best part about Fundable, the fact that you have options. You can offer equity, or you can offer rewards, or you can even launch a campaign with no rewards. Fundable seems to be aiming to be a one-stop shop platform, which definitely works in its favor. Next on the list, Ulule. The impossible to pronounce Ulule is a European-focused crowdfunding site, which is also based on a reward system. It serves the same purpose as any other regional platform, money raising with a focus on things that are important to the region. This one has a bit of trouble generating exposure for obscure campaigns, unfortunately, so you'll want to bring all the force of your social media you can muster. Lastly on our list, UCaring. This is a charitable website that has a broader focus than just academic funding. The goal of UCaring is simply to attract people who are willing to spread goodwill. It has a nice layout and makes it very easy to get the attention of strangers, since many of these sites are hamstrung by an over-reliance on personal social media connections, and it really drives the charity point home. You might be funding someone's education, or a life-saving surgery, but there's no doubt that you can find a kind person to donate on UCaring. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to click the like button, share and comment down below.